opening with episode 1. In this episode we are going to discuss about we are going to understand about emotions. So the title is Understand Emotions. Okay. Every human being has an emotion, but one may experience it in a different way and the other will experience it in a different way. For example, consider there are two students, and two of the students are studying so hard, so well to get good marks. They studied for a week, and the two students contributed equally to the studies, and they did their exam, and at the end of the exam and they got their marks, and their marks were 50%. For the A student it is 50% and the B student it is 50%. The A student, after putting a lot of hard work, he got 50%, so he's not happy with that. So what he desired, he chose to stay stay unhappy. And the child B, who got the same 50% mark, who put the same efforts, he was very happy. Do you see the difference between? He was not worried. He chose to be happy. I got 50%. That's enough. Last semester I got 40%. This semester I got 50%. He didn't worried in the manner that he put in a lot of efforts and still he didn't got any marks like that. He was not unhappy, he was happy. So the child A is happy and child B is child A is unhappy and child B is happy, given the same situation. So why is it happening? So everyone would say it depends on the person. Who fixes the personality of the person? Of course the genetics also gets involved in it, but so if genetics is there, so it doesn't mean we will not be able to handle the emotions. If a father is very emotional, the son also will be emotional, and he will not be able to change it in future. Is this is the matter? No, it's not the matter. We can have control over our emotions. Even though my father is not someone who is very confident in a public speech, and that I do agree, I'm not very confident in front of many people, especially strangers, but I don't want to end up in that with that gene, with that genetics. I want to change my genetics. So if you are someone like that, uh, this podcast will be helpful for you. How this is helpful? So uh, how emotion of a person is being said. Okay, I'm having a little notes here, but maybe I don't need that, but let's see. So first, to understand the emotions, we have to start it from the beginning. The beginning, as a child, as an infant, when we born, the first day we cried. We all cried, right? Nobody was able to handle the emotions. Suppose there is a very, very, very emotionally strong person, considered a very emotionally strong person, and he has begotten a son. Now we are expecting, according to genetics, this person should be emotionally strong. So this infant, the son of the emotionally strong person, should not cry for milk, right? But he is crying for milk. All the infants do cry. But so all the infants do cry, right? What happening in the infant's mind is they feel something disturbing. When they feel hungry, they feel disturbed. When they feel um, when they feel like they are not comfortable, when they feel it's cold, they became anxious. The hungry, the cold, the hot temperature, everything give them anxiety. So this anxiety is what ended up in emotion, so they're crying. So when we cry, when we have an anxiety, so to an infant, not having a milk, having hungry is an anxiety, but to an adult it differs, right? So how, as an infant, did someone told you that you should not cry for milk? You have to ask, did someone told you that? No, Eventually you will learn by 2 years or 3 years old, you will learn to ask your mother, mom, I need food. Like that you are able to ask, right? But before that, if consider you are an infant, you would cry for milk, but after, when you are 3 years old, you will ask for milk. So you eventually learned based on the surroundings. So the surroundings you're having, based on the learnings you're having, whenever, so 3 years old now got a knowledge, if I ask mama, mom, I need milk, mom will give, I don't have to cry for that. But in some situations, even as an adult, you are crying means, then you understand that things cannot be changed, right? For the things that cannot be changed, or which cannot be changed by you, you are getting anxiety and you're crying for that. So it's not, now as an adult, it's not simple as it you're asking for a milk. Even though you're asking for a milk, consider as an adult you are 25 years old and you're asking for a milk and you're not able to get it and you're crying for that. So things like that, we get too emotional. Okay, so let's consider when are all the, okay, now you're thinking, you are too emotional. How to stop that? Like how you stopped crying for asking a milk, you should be stopping, right? How to do that? For that, first step, you need to analyze when you are getting emotionally weak. First, let's analyze. So for that, how will you analyze? Will you sit for hours and think, how when I'm emotionally weak? It's not like that. Let's learn throughout our days. Okay, when someone is hurting you, so, for example, someone is throwing bad mm, giving you a bad compliment about your dress, uh, and you're feeling bad and you're feeling anxiety and you want to express it emotionally. It's not like crying is not the only emotion one, right? You can express it via angry, and you can express with silent. You can show your emotions in different way. First, you have to analyze when you feel bad. So those are all the things you should listing out in a day. Okay, um maybe let's take it as 4 tips, 4 things you should do um, to keep you from emotionally dependent person, to understand your emotion and reflect to that. Forgive me if I'm blabbering or something like that. This is my first podcast, so it will eventually improve, looking for my improvement. So the 4 things which we want to do to become an emotionally independent person, what we can do. The first thing, first, understand when or all you are being emotionally triggered. What are all the factors? Is it someone will not be affected by the compliments from someone, but others will be affected by that. So you have to find it out. For example, will I get offended by the compliments I'm getting? No, I will not be offended by compliments from an outside person. But if it's from my family and friends, definitely I'll be emotionally disturbed at that time. My anxiety will arise at that time. So like that, you have to understand what affects you, who affects you, like that. Maybe write in a day, write down the things which affected you emotionally, and along with that, understand what second point is. Now understand how you wanted to react to it and how you reacted to it. There is difference between how you wanted to and how you did reacted. So write down those 2 things. Now, why we need to write, why we need to understand these things, the second point is because even from childhood you might have risen as a good girl. If you do certain things, your father and mother will say you are a good girl, but if you don't do certain things, your father and mother will say you are a bad girl. So while living, while you're brought up from that surrounding, you always wanted that good girl thing. So to get a good girl, from good girl, what is that, good girl compliment from your parents, you always control everything's within you. Suppose your if someone is if your sister or brother is taking away your favorite dress from you or a pen from you, you are feeling anxiety, okay? At that time, if you wanted to react like, no, I won't give that to you, please leave it to me, that is how you wanted to react. But if you do that, your parents will say you are a bad girl. You should give that. You should have a giving habit like that. If your parents is suggesting you to you, and you could have did that without they even saying that, you could have done given that pen to your brother, right? That's because you've been it's not something bad to be a giver. You can share things with your brother and sister, but what I'm trying to tell is you have an emotion different inside you, but the one you're expressing outside is different. So this should not be the matter. The inner and outer should sync, but in your case, if it's not syncing, then there is a problem. So we have to understand and analyze how it's working. Once you write down the things, you have to do an analysis. How much time I have reacted. The third thing is you have to analyze. So how much time I have expressed myself in a right manner, and how much time I have not expressed myself enough. So we have to understand that. And I'm telling you, by default you'll be doing such things. And even I'm even surprised with things like if my boyfriend makes a statement to me. I'll tell you, this is an example. My boyfriend makes a statement to me, and if I feel offended, I will start shouting at him. But at the second moment, the first moment he hurted me, the second moment I'll start shouting at him, or I'll go to a silent mood, or I'll cut the call. I'll react to him in a very bad way. When I analyzed my pattern, I realized I could have even reacted with a question, why you are saying that? Because if I ask the question, he will answer why he said that, and that explanation actually explains me and calms me down. But I never did that. Instead of that, I gave him a silent treatment. So he will call 10 times, 20 times, maybe sometimes 30 times. He will call me and then explain me. Believe me, after that explanation, I was completely calm. So this chaos which I am doing between the statement I heard and his explanation, the chaos which I did was what I want to overcome. This pattern I learned from my parents, my surrounding, my relatives, my friends, from anyone I could have learned, or might be from my genetics. But I have to change this pattern. So I realized that. So how to it's not like controlling your emotion. If you're feeling sad, please validate that. If you're feeling happy, validate that. But just write it down and understand how you are expressing your emotions. So our first thing will be writing down, or maybe if you have a good memory, you can memorize it. So I don't have a good memory, so I'll write it down. Maybe I'll leave. Okay, I'll write down. We have to write down our emotions. And second point, how we want to react and how we have reacted. That's the second thing we want to write down. And after that, analyze how much time you have reacted in the way you wanted, how much time you didn't, and find out the reason for that, why. And next time the same situation comes, you will react in your expected way, which will which will why you want to do this, which this controlling of your emotions, it's again I'm saying it's not controlling your emotions, it's just changing the way how you react to the surroundings. So this controlling towards to your reaction to your emotions will help you to become a confident person, will help you to uh, chase your dreams, will help you to save your time. In your emotionally weak, you think a lot, you overthink, you fight with the people, which is unnecessary. You can skip that part, right? If you have already written it, if you have already understand it. So do you have to do this every time? Believe me, the first day when you write down, you'll have more topics. The second day it will reduce. Third day it will reduce, because every day we are experiencing the same situations again and again. Sorry, I have a phone call. Okay, sorry, I had a phone call. So every day, again and again, we are reacting to the same situation in the same manner. So let's break that, understand how we should react, and react in a good way. And some tips to help you, and I have written some tips. Go for a long walk. Believe me, the things I said before, the 4 tips I gave you, 4 steps to control emotions I gave you, it came out of nowhere. It came suddenly here. I have gone through many YouTube videos. I tried to understand those videos and their solution, but none of them actually helped me. But this instant thought, I think it will help me. So I'm going to follow this. Nowadays I'm feeling confident in all the areas except the way I control my emotions. So I will eventually control my emotion. And this is some tip I got from web. So when you feel very emotionally driven, suppose you're very hungry, very emotionally down, you want to cry out a lot, at those times just go for a long walk, calm yourself. Maybe a long short walk, like 20 minutes walk in some green area. Go for your nearby park, go for a walk. That's one tip. And the second tip, if you're not able to go for a walk, just sit where you're sitting, take a deep breath. And third thing, if these 2 things doesn't resolve your issue, just write down how you're feeling. And if you're a person, for example, my boyfriend doesn't like to write up the things, I like to write up things. But if you're someone like my boyfriend who doesn't want to write the things, you can call your very best friend whom you can trust. You can tell them, hey, this is the situation happened, this is how I reacted, but I wanted to react in this way. Like that you can express yourself. Once you have expressed, and once you have a belief that someone have understand you, then you next time the same situation comes, I don't know if telling your situation to someone will help to come out of the situation in that moment. It's not true actually. It might help you, give you some comfort, but only time only help it can do is the next time the same situation come, even if you have spoke about that to someone, they could have shown you some idea. So next time same situation comes, you will have some better way to react to that, right? Okay, so hope this is not more boring. And let's meet in another episode. So this episode was called as understanding and regulating our emotions. Thank you, see you, bye. Wait, this is an unedited version of the version of podcast. Also, this is my first take. I haven't, believe me, I haven't do any trial. Okay, thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.